Yeah, you can round that applause. We go to the back of the stage. We go to the back. Yeah. So why are we doing that? We're just desperately in need. Because our woes in abundance have their inception in slavery. The way we treat each other, the way we look at each other, the way we respond to each other. Whenever someone of significance, or someone who we demanded or wanted their attention, namely the slave master. Whenever we wanted our slave master's attention, we was taught to put our head down when we come into the presence of the one whose attention we demand. Now today, when a woman sees a man, the first thing she looks at is his feet, his shoes. She looks down before she looks at him directly. And when a man looks at a black woman, black man looks at a black woman, the first thing he's trained to do is look down on her too. To look at her buttocks. So the women are looking at the shoes, and the men are a step higher looking at her ass, but no one who is interested in getting the other party's attention is looking at each other or into each other through eye contact. This is a byproduct of slavery. And you may beat your children to the point they have whips on them. And we laugh and say, we use the extension cord. And we laugh and say, hey, they use the pots. And we laugh and say, man, they hit me with the buckle of the belt. And we laugh and say, man, if I didn't cry when I got my ass whipped, I got a beating for that. And then when I cried, I got a beating for that. And we didn't know how to respond. But these are the same games that the slave master played on us. When your parent says, get the belt, and you second guess it, you likely to get your ass kicked for that. Where realistically, you're being asked to get the very weapon that's going to be used to abuse you. Where did we get that teaching from? That's from slavery. Go get the weapon I'm going to abuse you with. That's from slavery. The way you are disciplining your children comes from slavery because your mother's mother was taught by a slave. And your father's father was taught by a slave. I don't know why you think this thing happened thousands of years ago. It just happened. And we're just coming out of it. And after 400 years of this oppression, people are expecting black people to change over a 50-year night. And there's no such thing. 400 years of oppression. And we want to ask why black people are so crazy. So the way you engage your wife, the way the wife engages her husband, the way the parents engage their children, remember, your mother's mother was taught by a slave, and your father's father was taught by a slave. That's where the information came from. It is only this generation that I'm in that might be seeing a crevice of space for freedom education. Because we are still stigmatized by the residue of the education that the slave got from the white master. The way you talk to your woman and the way you expect your woman to respond to the way you talk to her comes from slavery. You're treating her like you're the slave master. The way your woman lacks respect for you is the way you was trained to have a lack of respect for your man. Comes from the slave master. When that black man is trying to raise his child and you don't like the way he disciplines his child, or how aggressive he may have to speak to his child, and you tell that black man he's doing something wrong, and you think as a woman that you can omit the presence of a black man and do a better job without him, that comes from slavery. And the fact that she's afraid of you to make a man out of your son comes from slavery. Because they will beat the husband and front that woman. Keep him alive, but beat him. And if he's too aggressive, effeminize him and make him have sex with another man in front of his wife. But keep him alive unless he kills himself. But what was the purpose of this? To break who? Not just the man, the woman. Because now when her son looks like he's about to be aggressive, any inclination of that little black boy looking like he wants to be an aggressive man,
come on now,
The stigma from her seeing what the father had to undergo for being an aggressive black male encourages her. It gives her the conviction to effeminize her son for his safety. And now, we see it today, you say that got nothing to do with slavery, but it's transgenerational behavior. It is transgenerational behavior. It's been practiced for so long that it's embedded into your psychology. Too many black women had their men made examples of in front of her. So much so that even until this day, when she sees a black man being a man to his child, she feels the necessity to intervene. And she feels, I can do a better job. And now she has played the role. After shunning so many black men, she is now playing the role of the man and the woman. And she's been playing daddy for so long, when she gets a boyfriend, she winds up in domestic violence. Because she's talking like a man to her man. I didn't say she was right to get hit upside her head. I'm saying you talking to untrained and undisciplined black men like you're a man. You're going to get hit. If that man is undisciplined and not trained, he's not a member of the Nation of Islam. He's not a member of New Covenant. He's not a member of the new Black Panther Party. You're going to get hit. And I don't want those shots at the Israelites.
Get him.
I ain't gonna do it. You know what I was gonna say. I ain't gonna do it.
I see Tazariak earlier too.
There you go. Y'all gotta do it. I can't do it. I say focus. Stay focused, black.
Spit the flame.
But what I'm saying is this. If they're not trained, especially by the Nation of Islam, New Black Panther Party, some of our Israelite brothers, just to show love on the real, New Covenant, other organizations, if they're not inside of something that teaches them discipline, to stay clean shaven, to stand erect, to wear a uniform, to follow orders. People like, I don't follow nobody. I ain't want to join an organization. I'm conscious by myself, and that's why you are a vagabond. We gotta call spade spade. You think you slick because you ain't joining nobody. But every teacher that we ever bear witness to had a teacher. There ain't been one teacher that came to us bastardized. Conscious community is filled with bastardized leadership. Negroes who feel they don't need to be under somebody else and be humble and follow orders before they go out to lead the world. Negroes who think they don't need a wife in order to lead. They can be a bachelor and teach the masses. And people get upset with that. The bachelors, the single men who try to teach get upset. But you show me one leader in the world that the world trusts that has a bachelor up there on the stage leading their country. Show me a single man around the world. Show me a man without a woman that has been voted into office to lead a country. Because if your family won't listen to you, why the hell should your nation listen to you? And you can't keep a consistent relationship with the opposite sex. Why should we listen to you? It's not a knock on people who broke up. It's not to say women are perfect. It's to say the criteria for leadership is you gotta have a family. Columbus law and family is business. Families rule the world. You can call them Illuminati, you can call them the bankers, but families rule the world. They're all related through blood. No one is doing this as an individual. Everybody is connected to each other on that genetic tree. Well, we want to be the individual. So what I'm telling everybody is this. We can't do it in every state at every time. Can't get 100% from one person because if something happens to them, you have nothing. But we can't get 1% from 100 people. And if something happens to one person, we still got 99%. And we can make concessions for that void until which time we find someone to fill it. So we asking everybody for their 1%. So yeah, we got a psycho-social rehabilitation center to address the mental health of our people that have been plagued in the offset or in the interim of the slavery process and the post-slavery process. But what will we do in Washington? Everywhere I go. We going to Toronto, that is going to be the bookstore there in Toronto. Incentive for the youth to teach them entrepreneurial skills. That's why the 20-year-old and the 21-year-old is a person, or the two brothers that I put in control of the store. And the rule was you have to have a girlfriend. You're not going to run this business. You better pretend like she's girl something, because when I come around, I need to know that you're in a relationship, and that woman has to co-sign your manhood. Otherwise, you can't have that store. So I got two young brothers in training, not only to run the store, but to also maintain their relationship. Because we don't have it in the community. We don't have nothing in the community teaching black men how to be black men, especially in times of crisis. When a black man loses his wife, who does he go to speak to somebody so his mental health can be restored? See, as black men, we don't like to admit this, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Women be on some shit where they be moving on. Like, we talk a lot of shit, hella shit. But we still going through a healing process, quiet as kept. And she done got her a new homie. Like 2 months in. And I'm still healing. Well, where do we go? While we healing, and now you become the baby daddy that's causing the problems. Because she got her young thing. And it's just black power all day. And it's just eating you away and tearing away in your mind. And you need someone to speak to. Because you're going to be in the mirror too many days looking at yourself, thinking that that's why she left you. And she may have left you because of your personality. Or you may have perpetrated a fraud when you met her and became who you really was after 6 months. And she couldn't recognize you no more. But this is all slavery. This is all slavery. And that black woman may have been playing daddy for so long, she's not ready to have a relationship with a man because she's been pretending to be a man for too long.
Actual facts.
These are issues that need to be addressed. We need to be checked out by our own, from people who have experienced these things, that can qualify why you feel the way you feel, because we have felt it ourselves, not white folks. So with that said, self-defense. How many of you, when you get pulled over by police, how many of you brothers question if you're going to make it alive after the pullover? That shit is stressful then, and it's messing with your heart. It's raising your blood pressure. Raise your hand again if whenever you get pulled over by the police, even if you ain't driving. Sisters, raise your hand if you get nervous when your man is pulled over by the police and you in the car. Because you know, this nigga here ain't about to get sunned by no white cop in front of you. And he likely to say any goddamn thing just to prove a point to me, and it's already been proven. That is the type of stress we shouldn't have to deal with. But how do you respond to it? We have to teach men how to be humble in those situations, and already have the light on and your hands on the wheel, and the window already cracked and ready to give them the ID. You got to teach people how to be humble in those situations, and not let your manhood undermine your intelligence, so you can be alive the next day for your family.